So you just bought Elden Ring. Either as a Giga Chad Soulsborne veteran who's waited over 2 years since the trailer came out, or a Soulsborne virgin who's never played a FromSoft game in their entire life, but you want to check out what the hype is all about. Regardless of which one you are, Elden Ring might give you a hard time starting off, considering they just throw you in the open world without really telling you where to go next. Hopefully, my half-assed guide will help you on your first playthrough of Elden Ring. And maybe give you less conniptions. So after listening to the main theme, which is the first trailer's song thrown on top of the title screen, you want to first figure out how your character is going to look like. Elden Ring has the best character creation in the series, so not only can you make the most atrocious abominations on the planet, you can also find a way to make them look hot. You can look up sliders anywhere online, and once you finish, just choose your starting item and finalize which class you want. Once you're done with that, you can finally start the game. So the game starts with a really dramatic exposition about the world of Elden Ring and the events that happened before the start of the game, just like every other game in the series. Long story short, the Elden Ring was shattered by Queen Marika for unknown reasons. Marika is not only the queen of the land, but also its goddess, with her children being demigods. All of Marika's children decided to fight over the larger fragments of the shattered Elden Ring, which the Great War shattering all of Marika's population dying or going mad. The larger shards of the Elden Ring are called Great Runes, and it's up to the Tarnished ones, that includes you, people who were banished from the lands between, now guided by lost grace back into the land to reclaim the Great Runes by pulling a Kratos, tracking down and killing all the demigods with Great Runes to repair the shattered Elden Ring.
I am Melania, Blade of Mikola.
So that they may become the Elden Lord and sit on the Elden Throne in the Elden Halls of Stone located on the totally not Elden Tree. Get all that? Yeah? No? Shattering? Elden Ring, Elden Lord, and Elden Throne. Okay, let's get to the game. So when you first start off, you'll be in an abandoned chapel, which will be a good spot for you to run around and get used to the controls. Most of which is the same as Dark Souls, but this time you can crouch and jump as much as you want. You can do almost anything from a crouch, like crouch running and crouch rolling. Get used to the inventory a bit, read up on some of your equipment, and we can start moving along. You're gonna want to pick up the first item you'll see in the game, then proceed to never use it again. Okay, maybe once or twice. Leave a heartfelt message to your fellow new souls if you want. And in classic Souls fashion, open the big heavy door to start your journey. Once you first step out, you'll be greeted with a giant ass world tree and some boxes for you to roll and jump over. Moving on, you'll find this locked door off the side, which you'll be able to open much later in the game. Go down some stairs, roll into some boxes, then down some more stairs that leads to a bridge. Cross that, and you'll be led to a big open area, which only means one thing. Realizing that you're solely outmatched, you try to run away like a pussy, only to realize that you're locked in, which leaves you no choice but to fight or die, because that's what this game's all about. Being a tutorial boss, the Grafted Scion has a fairly simple moveset, and only has one phase. I recommend keeping some distance and figuring out his moveset before you start to attack. If your class starts off with any offensive ranged weapons or spells, you want to bait out his attacks and punish him with it, because he will block range attacks if you decide to just take pot shots. If you don't have range, the same thing can be applied. Bait out his attacks, dodge, and punish. At this point, you just have to be consistent with everything, and not get ahead of yourself, lest you get hit with bullshit, like so. Realizing that you could probably take him on, you start over, fight him again, but with a new mindset, because this time, you're gonna be ready for anything, except for that tree. Whittle him down, until you get hit once, and you realize you weren't wearing your armor because you're too busy looking at that sweet, sweet fashion souls. Then you start over again, but this time with an even newer mindset, because you'll be prioritizing stats over fashion souls, making you ready for anything that comes your... So after falling to either one of your deaths, you'll be greeted by Horsey Boy and Level Up Girl, raking you up to an underground graveyard. You're gonna want to talk to this ghost dude right here, who will tell you to jump in the hole. After jumping in the hole, you'll then proceed to touch your first grass, which is this game's equivalent to bonfires. For those who've never played any Souls games, they're your checkpoint and safe zones, where you can restore your healing items and organize your skills. Moving on, you'll find many weak mobs for you to test out different ways of attacking, whether it's killing them from afar, jumping attacks, or sneak attacks, the usual shit you do. Once you get deeper in the cave, you'll find a fog wall, which will lead you to a quote-unquote boss, which really isn't a boss since you can just kill him in 2 hits. And no matter how bad you think you are at this game, just remember, People died to this boss. Once you're done with putting the boot to his face, just run to the other side of the boss room, which will lead you back to where you started. Don't forget to pick up this item, and keep moving on. This entire area is purely optional, but it gives out a good warm-up and free runes. Runes are the main currency of the game, and is used to buy stuff and level up. Once you come down, open up the door, touch the next grass, pick up this online item, and go up the lift. Once you open the big door, God of War style, you'll then have access to Limgrave. Pick up this other online item, touch your first real grass, and then talk to Vare. We'll then proceed to say,
Unfortunately for you, however, you are maidenless.
Once you're done taking his shit, you may then proceed to roam wherever you see fit. I recommend heading towards the church first, but you'll have to get past immigration. Once he realizes you have no passport, he'll then get angry and you'll end up being in a boss fight. You can try your luck against him, but if he gets too much, just run towards the church and hopefully you'll be safe. Shit. He can easily go around and break down some walls and pillars, but you should have enough time to touch grass, sit down, and spawn him out of existence. If you took too long, just run out the opening, make some distance between you two, and crouch in the nearest bush. Hopefully he'll realize that you were just his imagination and leave you alone. Just make your way back to the church without getting spotted, and be careful, cause he'll despawn and respawn back to his normal spot. Once you're back in the church, pick up the upgrade material on the anvil, and talk to Santa Claus. Exhausting his dialogue pretty much lets you know that he's one of many merchants you'll encounter throughout the game, and that you should buy a crafting kit to craft shit on the go. When you're done chit-chatting with Santa, open up your map and try to make your way to the brown mark. You can straight up do anything you want trying to get there, pick up crafting materials from bushes, kill guards, discover caves, and so on. Caves, mines, and catacombs are optional dungeons you can find and explore throughout the game. Once you get close enough to the brown mark, you'll see some ruins with lots of soldiers. Ruins are also optional places you can explore, and all have a basement that leads to either a boss, a chest, or a room full of enemies. Before you charge in like a monkey, go around the left side of the ruins. You'll spot some grass you could touch. This is the third grass you've touched in the open world. A cutscene will prompt in which you'll meet Melina. She'll offer to be your level up lady, as is FromSoft tradition, making you not maidenless anymore. Oh, and you'll also get a horsey. Once you got all that done, you're finally ready to proceed throughout Elden Ring. In the next video, we'll get some actually good starting gear that'll be enough for you to get through the mid-game.